Hello, my name's Robert Etches. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer at Textminded, a Danish-based language solutions partner.
And you just did a really great invention in the crowdsourced industry of translation. You made a platform where the fans of organization can be engaged to translate for the company. Can you share some more insight of this new concept?
Yes, thank you, Martijn. So our idea is that rather than selling translation to our clients, we provide them with a communication platform, a platform that allows all of their stakeholders, we like to call them minds, to get involved in the process. Translation has traditionally been kept in a silo where just professional translators work. What we're saying is we open up through our platform this silo to every stakeholder, to every mind, be they employees, hobbyists, professional translators, everybody who has a vested interest in some way or other with this company. They are given access to this platform and can get involved in the creative process. We provide the governance and the structure to allow different stakeholders, different minds at different times with different texts to get involved in different languages. The key for us is that we know that the more languages that material is made available in, the more beneficial it is for our clients. And we can't do this in traditional ways, but by creating this platform, by getting people involved, we not only provide more information in more languages, we actually get a really engaged community that empowers them to be a true part of this particular corporation or whatever it may be, Martijn. Yeah.
And what about the process? With our expedition, we also got our own crowd. What is the process like with Crowd Expedition when we want to translate our content into different languages and using our crowd for that? How does the process look like?
Right. So what we do is we'd set up. We'd say, okay, Martijn, what are the key words in your company? And we make sure that they were translated into the languages you're interested in, and by professional translators. And we set up the term base. So all this terminology, this key terminology, was fixed because that's really important. Terminology is the core. And then we would say, do you have any material already available in these languages? And we would bring together the two languages to make a translation memory. So we had some basis material we could reuse, we could recycle, if at all possible. And then thirdly, we would create a machine translation engine that would use all the material you already have, your terminology, your translation memories, and a basis engine, machine translation engine. Then we put these three things together. So when you had a new text, you could say, you put it into the platform, and you say, okay, depending on what type of text it is, X number of minds in my community have access to it, and any of them can claim it and translate it. And when they click on it and claim it, it opens up in an interface already pre-translated using the terminology, the memory, and the MT engine, and they just have to post-edit it. They do that, and they can see all the hits in the memories and the terminology and use that and change it as they think fit, so they get a finished article. They then say, bing, I'm finished, and it goes automatically to a senior editor, typically a professional translator. It could be you if you wanted to check your own Dutch text, for example. If there's something, let's say, from English to Dutch, you wanted to sign off on it. You would read it through and say, okay, you make a few changes and then approve it. And then, whoopty, you'd have your final version. Or if it was terrible, and who knows, maybe it is, you could throw it back and ask another member of the crowd, of the community, to do it for you. That's the basic approach.
Cool. And what way can you reward your crowd for helping you out?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the really nice things about the community. We also have what we call a mind manager who looks after the community and makes sure if any questions come up, that they are fielded and people are helped, but also the various minds can ask each other, say, are you sure this word is what we should call it like this? And or could you help me reformulate this sentence? So there's a huge dialogue going on among the community. People, I think that one of the exciting aspects of modern society is that the collaborative commons, that people like to help each other. They like to be together with like-minded people. So anybody working for you to push your ideas out into the world, they would, per definition, be interested in making sure they did a good job for if they were part of that community. Yeah.
And at what way does the rest of the translation industry responded at your new concept? Because it's quite different than the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, this is a very new concept, Martin, and we're actually just about to go out to a major conference here in Hamlet's hometown, Elsinore, on Thursday. That's Thursday the 27th, is this like that, of November, and to actually release this concept of sustainable communication to the world. And I think either we're going to be laughed at or taken very seriously, or create a lot of shocked colleagues. But as you know, you worked a lot with crowdsourcing and the whole movement, the whole collaborative economy, the whole sharing economy. These are new ideas, but we see that in many traditional industries, new kids in town changing the game, moving the goalposts. Airbnb in the hotel industry, Uber in the taxi industry, and I think my business partner and I, Britta Ogor, we believe that if we don't come with a new way, then somebody else will very shortly. The major problem with the translation industry, which is a $40 billion industry and growing by sort of 8, 9, 10% every year, is that we touch so little of the data that's been generated. Data is sort of exploding exponentially, but our industry only translates less than 0.01% of that information. The rest, the 99.99%, is only available in one language, Martin. And this means that we're just not helping our clients to communicate their value globally. Can you imagine any industry in the world that was only dealing with less than 0.01% of the information, and the rest was just a black hole? It would be completely inexcusable, unpermissible. But the problem is there is so much information out there that no normal company can just pay for traditional professional translation. So we're not saying that we're going to change the industry, because there'll always be work, because there's so much for really good professional translators. That's not going to disappear. What we're saying is there's so much out there that needs to be communicated that doesn't matter how many people we let in, it can only be better. It's in that respect, it's a beautiful concept, because it's just more. It's not undermining the professionals, of which, by the way, I'm one. So I'm not cutting off the branch I'm sat on.
Yeah,
on the contrary.
Yeah, I'm really curious with the conference if the rest of your competitors will also look at it the same way. Because in the end, I believe your story about this, because I really think that it will, in the end, lead to more work. But I think the first response of people will be, hey, that's my job, and other people are going to do it. So I'm really interested in the responses at the conference. The other question is, because it's you see with Airbnb, with Uber, that outsiders are the new kids in town. They are getting into a industry and disrupt it. And so you say, okay, yeah, you can better disrupt yourself than let others do it. But it's also start with your own employees. So how did they respond at your ideas of these new concepts?
Yes, well, I suppose I have the advantage of having employees been working with me for many years, and they're used to me disrupting their everyday. I've been driving them crazy for years, Martin. So that helps a little bit. But yes, it is. It's not easy to not just deal with new tools, but new concepts at the same time. And they could argue, rightly so, why rock the boat? We're doing very well as a traditional translation agency. So why change? But I think what we've been good at is explaining that we don't have to change today. But if we don't change tomorrow, we won't be here in 2 years' time, because things are going to change, and we must change too. I think the other exciting thing about our concept of sustainable communication is that it gives us a true purpose. It's not just about making more money or having more employees or driving a bigger car. Sustainable communication makes sense as a concept, as something for the world. We feel we tend to say we talk about Generation Z, the Millennium children. They want to be moved by what they see and read, and they also want to move the world. They want to see things change. They want to make a better world, and I think I've been very inspired by that. And we also want to make a difference. And I think our colleagues like that idea, that they're not just coming to work at Textminded to make money. They can also make a difference, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah, yes, it is. And did you also did your first pilot project with the platform?
Yes, just over a year ago, we did it for a major toy manufacturer, where they were going to they're looking at introducing a new product into the German market. And it was so big that there was no way even though they're a very large company, that we could have done this with traditional means. Now, they are already very used to engaging their communities in various projects. And so for them, it was an easy step to say, okay, well, why don't we engage them in producing text? So they helped us come in contact with some of their fans. And we tested them and made sure that they could actually understand English and write very good German. We set up the terminology, the translation memories, and the machine translation engines, the three tools, the holy trinity of translation. And we had this little team this little community of minds, I think there were just 12 of them. And we said, okay, let's try this. Let's see what happens. And so 4 days later, they'd handled 60,000 words at a really high quality. And we were just blown out of the water, Martin. It was amazing at how excited they were to do the work. One of the complaints, in fact, the only complaint was, please don't upload any more files for translation before I get home from work, because by the time I get home, they're all gone, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, really. And what are your next steps? So you're presenting at the conference and then mind-blowing your competition away.
Yeah, well, we've already we had a great lead. You and I were at a conference together in Copenhagen a month ago, the Crowdsourcing Week. First time Crowdsourcing Week had been visited Europe, and I made a presentation there, and afterwards a guy from England contacted me. He represents something like 175, I think, healthcare organizations in the UK. And he said, Robert, do you know that there are 4 million people in England that do not have English as their first language? And I said, wow. I mean, okay, I'm English myself, but I haven't lived there for a long time. Amazing fact. But of course, why not? And he said, well, what I'd like to do, I'm really interested in perhaps seeing whether we can create a platform like the one you've mentioned with sustainable communication, where we can create a platform for these 170 plus healthcare organizations and empower them to give this information to help these 4 million people get the sort of healthcare information they need in these various areas of illness. Fantastic idea. So we're looking forward to talk to him. So all of a sudden this became, sorry to say goodbye to a colleague leaving the office. We're going to be talking with him next week about that project. Another really exciting project. I'm involved with, there's a European organization called LT Innovate, Language Technology Innovate, LT Innovate, based in Brussels. And I'm on an innovation panel at LT Innovate on the 4th of December, where we're going to be talking about new trends in our market. And LT Innovate have also linked us to a very, very exciting project where there's a huge multinational looking at, again, empowering its employees and its clients, the consumers, everybody, in many different ways. Speech recognition, machine translation engines, just being able to cope with in-house emails. Just think, any organization where English is the company, is a corporate language, but most people write poor English. Mm-hmm. Okay, let them write German, let them write French, let them write Chinese, and let the system translate that for them, so that their colleague can then just finish it off when it arrives with the right terminology, with all the help from the memories, with a good MT engine. Just there, we're talking about communication. It's not even translation anymore. The return on investment for an organization could be huge. The possibilities, Martin, are endless for doing this, and I think we've only just seen the start of this adventure. Yeah,
really cool. Looking forward to hearing your next steps in a couple of months. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.